Garda Show, 8 to 10 a.m. on Salam Media.
Lots of comments around Zuleika Mayat and the Indian Delights, this legendary person. I'll be in conversation with her. What a privilege for me and for you as well. In fact, just by listening, you're also part of that conversation. But certainly add the value to it by WhatsApping now 061 766 0355. Zuleika Mayat, Indian Delights. I say that, you think what? Okay, right. Let's talk about Ramadan in society and the impact that Ramadan has on society in general. And we do it this time around with looking at the work of the Islamic Relief Agency, IRA, with Abdul, Aleem, Gamza. Abdul, Aleem, assalamu alaikum, and thanks for your time.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh to yourself, Brother Ashraf, as well as the listeners of Salam Media.
Shukran for your time, right? So let's talk about your organization. I mean, why does it exist? What does it stand for?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. All praise and thanks is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our nourisher, fashion and sustainer. Salutations to our beloved Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his companions, and all those who follow him. Islamic Relief, we started in 1984 in the UK, just as a bit of a backdrop, by a medical doctor, Dr. Hani Al-Banna, one of the founders, and it was started because of the drought in Africa. And he went out to raise funds to assist the brothers and sisters in Africa. He was based in the UK. I started in Birmingham, and he raised funds for Africa. And the first donation he got was from a 12-year-old boy. It was, I think, a £1 or something to that. That was the first donation that he received. So fast forward many years later, and we are in over 42 countries worldwide. We're working on the ground in many areas, i.e. Syria, Yemen, Gaza. We are on the ground working there. And why do we exist? We are there to bring relief and working with the most vulnerable communities around the world to provide hope and also to provide sustainability in their livelihoods and what they achieve, inshallah. I'll give you another example. We've worked in Bosnia where the war was in Bosnia. Islamic Relief is still working on the ground in Bosnia to make sure that people are being taken care of, that the industry is up and running. So long after the cameras have gone, we are still working in Bosnia.
Well, tell you what, talking about your founder, I mean, I had the privilege of interviewing him, in fact, for Salam Media 2 years ago, and I'll likely get the team to share the recordings because he's an incredibly inspirational medical doctor.
Absolutely.
That yes, and global humanitarian of note. Then I met him, I think, about a year and a half ago, just before lockdown, when he spoke at one of your big events in Johannesburg, right? So highly inspirational. Now here's the thing: what you said, 40 countries. How did that happen? I'll talk about the relief in a second. How did this organization grow from the UK, from a medical doctor of Egyptian extraction, then to become a formidable relief organization in the world?
You must remember that when you look at the outlook, a broad outlook that Dr. Hani and the other founders have had, it is to go where the assistance is required and went across the boundaries, irrespective of race, color, or religion. It was there just to serve humanity. And as things escalated and as things happened, i.e. again, we speak about Bosnia as an example, we went there to assist. As things happened across the globe, we are in Africa, in many countries in Africa, we are in the Far East. So as things have happened, we have gone into those areas. But we also go into areas before there's anything like there's a drought, we go in. We've gone out to assist many, many communities. I think, and then besides that, we've got offices in places like Canada, the USA, in the UK itself, where there's offices, and all that they do is raise funds for the many projects around the globe. So, alhamdulillah, through the efforts and of many of our part offices around the globe, we are able to facilitate, humanitarian aid to the various much needed countries, i.e., whether it be water, whether it be food, whether it be shelter, what medical assistance, whatever it is, we go in and we assist as far as we possibly can. And one of the great things about Islamic Relief is that we employ the locals of the country. We don't bring in people from outside who doesn't know the culture, doesn't speak the language. We employ the locals unless there is required for specialized expertise. We bring the specialist in to facilitate, and once that time period has lapsed, that person will move back out of the organization that particular country. And when we work with the locals.
And in working with the locals, I mean, the type of relief. I mean, just give me an example of what sort of relief do you offer when you identify a region that is in need of relief?
It will depend, obviously. As when we're looking at drought-stricken areas, that is the kind of review and assessment that be done to see what we can implement, what sort of water projects we can implement, whether it be a borehole, whether it be a well point, micro dam, whatever it is that we can raise money for. That is what we will implement in those countries. I mean, there's countries that are facing huge starvation, and I mean, I look at places like Yemen as an example, where 2.3 million children are severely malnutrition, and out of that, there's another 400,000 of that is on the brink of, losing the battle against malnutrition. So Islamic Relief works on the ground. We see where the needs are, and that's what we facilitate. So when we raise campaigns in the countries that where we raise funds, we look specifically at what's being done there. In Syria, we'll look at doing a bakery. We'll do it at water tanks. We'll look at medical facilities. We'll look at shelter. What is the basic need for those people to live with some level of dignity? We can give that dignity back to them so that they can live fairly okay lives now, based on the circumstances of the country.
Yeah, I mean, often we talk about talking about real people with real stories. When you say give them that dignity, even if it's temporary, I mean, like how do you define dignity for someone who's got nothing? Like, what is dignity for them?
Dignity for them is to be respected. It is to be understood. Dignity for them is to know that somebody cares about them, somebody is listening to them. And those that is what gives you. So when we give, I mean, for example, if you look at taking a food hamper to somebody, is how you display and how you hand it over to that person. That is a respect and dignity that you show to that individual, instead of just dropping it off the back of a truck and people run and forage for the food.
Okay.
And we've seen that happen already. So we treat every single person with the utmost respect, and even in South Africa, the campaigns and the projects that we run in South Africa, we do it with the utmost of respect. Whether we're dealing with our orphans, subhanAllah, I think we've got a magnificent orphans program globally and in South Africa. Again, it is about, you don't want to know that you're the needy person, so that we give you that respect that we give you something. It's not advertised, it's not glamorized or anything like that. That's the kind of dignity that we are speaking about.
Yeah. Let's then talk about, I mean, you have some specific focus areas like immediately now in Ramadan. What are they? Which areas, which regions? Yeah.
Well, I just touched on one area for now, which is Yemen, and we're speaking about a population of 30 million people, and 80% of those people are in need of humanitarian aid, which is 24 million people, and that is severe. And 40% of the population is on the brink of starvation. So Islamic Relief, we're working on the ground. There are over just about 22 or 23 governorates in Yemen. We are in 17 out of those governorates, which are basically our provinces, where we are working on the ground. We've got 300 staff, 3,000 volunteers to be able to facilitate that, to make sure that it gets to the most needy of communities. But we can't do that without the contributions of our beautiful community here in South Africa, mashallah. That contribute, and we're able to facilitate those particular processes on the other side.
Yeah, carry on. Yeah, the other focus?
The other focus area is Syria. They've been in a decade of war, a decade of strife, and these people have been, 12 million people have been displaced, whether they are in Turkey, some of them are in Jordan, some of them are in Lebanon, and then also on the outskirts, they've been removed from their homes. Beautiful homes that were there are no longer. And I always remind myself that 11 years ago, these people, we were Islamic Relief was there collecting zakat from these people. Yeah. Now these people are receiving zakat.
Incredible, eh? Yeah. All right. So the call out, tell me what's your call out? I mean, you need funding, right? What's your call out?
Right. So tomorrow night, Islamic Relief, we will be having our pledge line on ITV networks at 8:30 p.m. And this will be specifically for Yemen tomorrow evening. We'll go through our various projects that we have running in Yemen. I'm urging the listeners to tune in. Make your pledge, make your mark, even if you stay anonymous, but your donation will act as a motivation to somebody else to make another donation.
Inshallah.
That will be tomorrow evening, inshallah. And then on Sunday, we have another pledge, and that will be for Syria, inshallah. Again, you tune in at 8:30 p.m. on ITV Network, channel 347 on DSTV, and you can make your pledge and make your contribution. It's a great opportunity. We are in the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan. Let's maximize the time that we have. Tomorrow night, which is Friday night, which is on pledge night, it is the 25th night. It's an odd night in the last 10 nights. A possibility that could be the night of Qadr. 27th night, also a possibility that could be the night of Qadr. So let's maximize with our ibadah that we are doing, with the Quran, the Azkar, and all those things that we are doing. make sure we are giving something in charity on that particular evening as well, inshallah. And they also reward every single person that is taking that intention to contribute to Yemen and to Syria on Friday and Sunday night, inshallah.
Okay, and for people who can't wait for Friday night and Saturday, they want to donate like now, direct me to give me a number or a website address.
Bismillah, they can make that contribution. They can go to www.islamic-relief.org.za, and you can go to Ramadan, and you'll be able to go to our Ramadan appeal, and you'll be able to see exactly who's like to contribute the money. The other alternative, give us a call on 0800 111 898, and you can make contact with us at our various offices around Cape Town, Johannesburg, and Durban. And if anybody needs somebody to come to their house, all the restrictions in terms of COVID-19 protocols will be maintained, PPE and all those, so we can come and collect from you, or you come into our offices in those regions as well, inshallah ta'ala.
Okay, well, good talking to you. Thank you for your time, most appreciated. Right. Feel free to tag us as well, Salam Media, and as well as myself, Asraf Garda, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, so we can amplify that important call out, not just today, but certainly for those 2 pledge lines coming up as well. Shukran.
Ameen, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Abdul, Aleem, Gamza from Islamic Relief. I can tell you now, having seen at close quarters what they do, another organization, global one, doing incredibly good work. Before we get to the news, there's so many comments. Let's pick up 1 or 2 of the comments that Rahima's got with us. Rahima, what do you have?
Assalamu alaikum, listeners. Thank you, Ashraf. So it seems that the Indian delights, as I said earlier, it's a delight. It's Zuleika Might created a culture. Yeah. And this is definitely confirmed by our listeners today. We've got an auntie saying, thumbs up for this amazing woman. Sister Zuleika's Indian delight has reached every corner of the world, and no doubt many a housewife has benefited from her delectable dishes. I've had people send me beautiful pictures of their Indian delights.
While we're fasting, I'm listening now, man. Yeah,
I'm telling you. And some of these pictures, you can see their books have stood the test of time. They almost look like, they should be in a museum somewhere, which means obviously that they've definitely been used. I've had somebody also say that, I've learned to make puris, chutneys, gulab jambu. I myself have learned a thing or 2. Somebody messaged me, I'm 70 years old. Okay. And I've been using one for generations. Somebody mentioned, her name's Mumtaz Ali. She said her sister Afia got married and her mother bought her this book 27 years ago. That's nearly as old as me, Ashraf.
Well, there you are.
Right. She talks about how great the versatility of the book.
Hold that, because I want to pick up more. And there's
many.
If there's more voice notes as well, just send them coming, because I want to pick it up. 061 766 0355. Zuleika Mayat, Indian delights. That's what I say. You say what? Let's get the news now.
In several weeks, and Foreign Minister Mohammed Javad Zarif says Iran supports Syria's territorial integrity and sovereignty, stressing the need to respect the Arab country's constitution and legitimate right to hold elections. Good morning, I'm Tabile Duma. The number of daily coronavirus infections in South Africa has breached the 2,000 mark for the first time in several weeks. These take the known caseload since the start of the outbreak to 1,588,000. 46 more people have died after contracting the virus, with the country's death toll now at 54,557. Over 1.5 million people have recuperated so far, which translates to a 95% recovery rate. And on the vaccine front, just over 353,000 healthcare workers have now received their jab. Regent of the Zulu nation, Queen Mantombi Dlamini Zulu, has been laid to rest. The third wife of the late King Goodwill's Zwelithini Kapegu Zulu was interred during a private ceremony attended only by close members of the Zulu and Swati royal families in the early hours of this morning. The 65-year-old late Queen passed away at a Johannesburg hospital last week, and her remains were transported to the Royal Palace in KwaNongoma yesterday. Queen Mantombi Dlamini Zulu had apparently been battling ill health since 2016. In December 2017, her late husband, King Zwelithini, alleged that she had been poisoned. However, the cause of her death has not yet been disclosed. Meanwhile, Prime Minister to the Zulu nation and monarch Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi said that they expected to receive the results of a post-mortem examination in the coming week. An official memorial service in honor of the late Zulu Queen has been scheduled for tomorrow. Meanwhile, the South African National Civic Organization in the Free State has vowed to challenge Ace Magashule's suspension from the ANC in court. Magashule has refused to comply with his suspension after being charged with corruption. He has denied the charges and has called the move unconstitutional. Magashule says as head of the ANC, he has suspended party president Cyril Ramaphosa. Magashule's corruption, fraud and money laundering charges are linked to a failed million rand asbestos project from the time when he was a premier of the Free State. Magashule's suspension follows an ANC National Working Committee's call to suspend members who have not voluntarily stepped aside after the expiry of the 30-day notice. Police Minister Bheki Cele says he expects the team investigating the case against the alleged gangster Naveez Madak to institute further charges against him and others. Madak had been accused of several high-profile crimes and will appear in the Bishop Lavis Magistrates Court on Monday, along with anti-gang unit police officer Ashley Tabashar on corruption charges. The state is expected to oppose bail. Madak was also charged separately for allegedly being involved in a thwarted hand grenade attack at the house of slain anti-gang unit detective Carl Kinnear. However, at his court appearance on Tuesday, Madak was not charged with the murder of Kinnear. Kinnear was shot dead outside his house in Bishop Lavis on the 18th of September last year. Since his arrest, Madak has also been charged with the alleged kidnapping of an investment manager and the attempted murder of lawyer William Booth. In more news, the family of 9-year-old Miguel Lowe says he can now rest in peace since the man who took his life will be serving a 25-year prison sentence. Judge Jacqueline Henriquez sentenced Mohammed Ibrahim for the kidnapping and murder of Lowe. Handing down a sentence in the Durban High Court, the judge noted that Ibrahim had showed no remorse. She referred to the killing as a crime of passion since Ibrahim had a relationship with Miguel's mother. A handful of family members were in court clad in white t-shirts bearing Miguel's face. His mother was not there. In July 2018, Ibrahim lured Miguel to go with him one afternoon after school. That was the last time the 9-year-old was seen alive. And for 6 weeks, the community searched for the boy in Sydenham. But by fluke, his decomposed body was found in a shallow grave near Ibrahim's home in Phoenix. And finally, Foreign Minister Mohammed Javad Zarif says Iran supports Syria's territorial integrity and sovereignty, stressing the need to respect the Arab country's constitution and a legitimate right to hold elections. In a phone call yesterday, the Iranian Foreign Minister and his Syrian counterpart, Faisal Maqdad, discussed issues of a common interest as well as major regional and international developments. Syria's official news agency said Maqdad briefed Zarif on the preparations made by the Damascus government for the presidential election later this month. Zarif in turn said Iran supports Syria in exercising its constitutional right to hold elections. Syria's presidential election, which will be the second since the start of a decade-long conflict in the country, is scheduled to be held on the 26th of May. Campaigning is set to start on the 11th of May. Damascus has invited lawmakers from allied countries such as Russia, Iran, China, Venezuela, and Cuba to observe the electoral process. Taking a look at news in Pietermaritzburg on 105.6 FM. 8 years after well-known Pietermaritzburg Dr. Vish Suram was assassinated, the mastermind behind his murder, Raviji Soni, is finally set to go to jail. Soni yesterday failed in his Supreme Court of Appeal bid to have his conviction for the doctor's murder overturned. Suram was gunned down outside his surgery in Chatamatala Road in May 2013 by an assassin who the court found had acted as a result of a plot hatched by Soni, who wanted revenge as he suspected the doctor of having an affair with his wife. While the SCA confirmed Soni's guilt for murder, his 30-year sentence on 6 counts, including the murder, was yesterday effectively reduced to 23 years and 7 months. The court also acquitted him on an assault charge and another charge of defeating the ends of justice. Soni is out on bail and will have to surrender himself for imprisonment, but the time frame in which he must do so could not be established yesterday. And finally, protesters gathered outside Umgeni Psychiatric Specialized Hospital in Howick yesterday to express anger and alleged personal conflicts within upper management and ill treatment of staff. The protest was held by hospital staff supported by the National Education, Health and Allied Workers Union and the Public Service Association. Staff members are called for the suspension of two top managers at the hospital. Chairperson of the PSA at Umgeni Psychiatric Hospital, Nkosinathi Ngobese, said the two senior members of management were causing problems within the organization, which is leading to division amongst staff members. That's it for your news in Pietermaritzburg on 105.6 FM. Taking a look at the temperatures this morning, Durban 18 to 24, Richards Bay 18 to 25, Ulundi 16 to 26, Ladysmith 11 to 25, and Margate is at 18 to 24. Your weather in Pietermaritzburg is at 13 to 25, and Newcastle is at 9 to 24. For your Islands Horror News, I'm Tabile Duma.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Sheikh Zahir Mahmood. You're tuned into.
Connect with Salam Media via studio 010-880-2396 or WhatsApp 061-766-0355.
So the second half of the show, the Asraf Garda show, in fact, this show has been running throughout Ramadan and will end on the last day of Ramadan as you fast. So not the last fast, so does the show end. But it's been great certainly being a part of it. Okay, let me just tell you, we've had lots of people commenting about Zuleika Mayat, and keep on coming with those comments. And if you can, don't be anonymous. Give your name as well. I'd love to know. And also, like if you're in Joburg, don't say Joburg, say Mayfair, or don't say Durban, say Overport, say Umhlanga, so I know exactly where you are, right? 061 766 0355, because I'm trying to picture where you are listening right now, okay? 061 766 0355. Goodness, maybe you're on the beach. I don't know. I want to know. So voice notes or text around Zuleika Mayat, also around and Ace Makashula, I think, is really important as well, that we'll talk about, okay? Now, let's move on. More to come. We'll certainly talk to Zuleika Mayat, but we're also going to talk about vaccine nationalism and what that means, but a significant decision taken around intellectual property about vaccines that actually has an impact on all of us. That comes up in a moment, right? The show, the Asraf Garda show, is brought to you by the African Muslims Agency. Provide dignity, safety, and nourishment to millions of needy families in 14 countries across the globe this Ramadan. And you do that by sponsoring the African Muslims Agency. The campaign is called More Than a Meal, hashtag More Than a Meal. Feed a village, camp, and community at just 15,000 rands per day. You can call in to African Muslims Agency. They're waiting for your call now. 011 834 8685. The website, africamuslimsagency.coza. Africa Muslims Agency, inspiring the spirit of giving.
Africa. Provide dignity, safety, and nourishment to millions of needy families in 14 countries across the globe this Ramadan by sponsoring towards the Africa Muslims Agency's More Than a Meal campaign. Sponsor a food hamper at 1,100 rands or an iftar suhoor meal box at 100 rands. Call Africa Muslims Agency on 011 834 8685 or donate at africamuslimsagency.co.za. Africa Muslims Agency, inspiring the spirit of giving.
Mornings with Asraf Garda. Connect on Twitter at Asraf Garda.
So every day around this time, we talk finance, courtesy of Randery Jewelers. Here's Nafisa Sayyid. Nafisa, salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Rand this morning trading at 14 Rand 33 to the dollar, 19 Rand 92 to the pound, 17.21 to the euro, and 3 Rand 82 for 1 Saudi Riyal. Brent crude is trading at $69.14 a barrel, and your gold coin prices this morning. The crude ran at 28,270 Rand. The Zahab medallion is 27,100 Rand. The dinar coin is 5,530 Rand, and your quarter dinar is 1,450 Rand. There's only a few days left until Eid, and if your Eid gifts are not sorted, well, I am here to help you out. Randy Jewelers has gold earrings from as low as $399, ladies' watches from $299, and silver earrings from as low as 100 Rand. So come in store today to make your purchase and put a smile on your loved one's face, inshallah. That's it from me. We'll chat to you again tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
What makes Randery Jewelers the optimum place for your memorable gift? Is it our range of exclusive, high-end, luxurious jewellery? Or is it our master craftsmanship of all your bespoke jewellery needs? We believe it's because at Randery Jewelers, we know just how to make your special moments last forever. Whether it's for a wedding, anniversary, or just a simple gift to show your love, trust Randery Jewelers to make it special. www.randeryjewelers.com